Comrade Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity. This is the declaration, the Boksburg Declaration on the intensification of the democratization process of Swaziland on the 5th December 2021 in Boksburg, Johannesburg. We, the representatives of the mass democratic movement of Swaziland, convened by Lefusonge Institute of Strategic Thinking and Development and led by the Multi-Stakeholders Forum and the Political Parties Assembly, congregated in Boksburg, Johannesburg, South Africa from the 3rd to 5th December to reflect on the terms of reference for the SADC facilitated dialogue process and the state of the Swazi struggle. Recognizing the watershed and historic juncture at which our long struggle for the democratization of our country is at, and understanding the urgency of this task in firmly placing the country on a pedestal of self-determination through a democratically elected people's government. Encouraged by the resolute, unwavering, vibrant and activist spirit of our people in their calls for freedom from royal supremacy that has shackled them for the past 49 years of the Dingunda system of government since the illegal and unilateral abrogation of the Independence Constitution of 1968 on the 12th April 1973 by King Sobhuza II. Humbled and driven forward by the spirit of the ultimate sacrifice of the martyrs of our revolution, who have been selflessly and brutally slaughtered by the government of King Mswati III, galvanized by the radical energy and determination of our young people, and catapulted by the spirit of Thabani Nkomonye towards a cause of irreversible victory for our people. Applauding the resilient and tenacious commitment of our women, persons with disabilities, and other marginalized groups in standing on the right side of history in supporting the calls for the democratization of the country. Inspired by the selflessness of our incarcerated members of parliament, Mduduzi Batete Mabuza and Mthandeni Dube, as well as Amos Mbete and all other political prisoners, further inspired by the resolute tenacity of our exiled Member of Parliament Mduduzi Makaukau Smelane, firebrand journalist Zweli Martin Dlamini, and all political exiles, determined to achieve a new, inclusive and fully democratic, multi-party democratic state led by a people's government, totally independent of the king and the institution of the monarch, a government that will deliver on the social contract with the people, frugally managing the economy, all state resources and assets to drive sustainable economic development and guarantee universal franchise for all our people. We declare the following as key outcomes and action points of the Boksburg Declaration. Number 1, that June 29 shall be a public holiday in recognition of the ultimate sacrifices made by our people during the period of the June massacre and the political unrest. All victims of the unrest shall be catered for by a people's government. To urgently embark on a sustained campaign for the immediate release of the incarcerated MPs Mduduzi Batete Mabuza and Mthandeni Dube, as well as the unconditional return of MP Mduduzi Smelane and all political exiles before the dialogue process commences. We call on our people to immediately return to the battlefront and to intensify the struggle for democracy and freedom day and night until victory is attained, recognizing that what is not won in the battleground cannot be won at the dialogue table. That all progressive forces within the mass democratic movement unify and keep their focus on the task of liberating our people. We call for an immediate cessation of all counter-revolutionary conduct that demobilizes the urgent task for freedom. That the people ferociously defend their right to free association, assembly and expression in pursuit of democracy and freedom. that the military and all armed security forces be unconditionally withdrawn from the streets and end the atrocities and human rights violations. We call for the constitution of a transitional authority to take care of the affairs of state while we work towards a democratically elected people's government. Ends. Amanda. Amanda.